Great. We love you.
Okay. So I'm Christine. I don't know if anybody doesn't know me, but I've been in MOPS leadership for, well, off and on for about 12 years now. I have 5 kids, ranging from almost 14 down to 4. So that keeps me busy.
I am Sandra. This is my 3rd year of MOPS, first year of leadership. I'm a Navy wife. I've got 2 little boys and a stepdaughter, and I'm also a Beachbody coach. So health and fitness is kind of my thing. It's my lifestyle. It's kind of what I do.
Is that good? Everybody hear me now? Okay. So last time you guys saw me, I was up on stage and I was all about that list, right? But today I'm going to be all about that base. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay. When Tara asked me last July if I would come and talk about my weight loss journey, I was like, sure, because I had just lost 50 pounds in only 6 months. So I was like, yeah, I can come and do that. But since then, I've gained 30 pounds back and came to my realization that I have a binge eating disorder. It's not all the time, but that's what a binge is. It can come anytime and last for as long as it wants to. So even though I'm up here speaking, I'm not perfect, and I'm right now in the middle of my journey. And I'm not a doctor or a dietitian. I'm just going to share what worked for me. Okay, so slide number 1. This is me around August 2013, and that was my heaviest. Yeah, those are both pictures of me on my trip when I took my 5 kids by myself on a road trip to California. So that first picture of me, it shows Alcatraz cycle patient or cycle ward. Kind of fits. So after I got back from vacation, I saw these pictures and I was kind of horrified because that was the biggest I've ever been. And you never know how big you are until you see pictures, really, you know, or how small you are actually until you look at pictures. So, yeah, but it didn't, yeah. So then I was in the checkout line at Target and the cashier says, "Oh, you must be a closet eater like me." And I'm like, "What?" I couldn't believe she said that. And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she says, "Well, I do the same thing. I pay cash for my snack foods, and the rest of it goes on the credit so that my parents can't see the receipt." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I left there, and I was so, like, I couldn't believe she said that to me, you know, and I was defensive, and, but then, you know, she was right. So I started telling my family that, and it was a funny story, you know, but when it comes down to it, you know, it's the truth, and I had to do something about it. So in December, oh wait, let's go back. I wrote this down here. You can always tell the state of my diet or my mood by the state of my van. Like, there's tons more wrappers and soda cans. I'm like, oh, yeah, I had a bad week this week, didn't I? So that's a good reminder. So in December, my husband's coworker and his wife were raving about this new diet, and I said, okay, I'll take a look at it. And I looked on online, and it was something I never heard before because it wasn't a quick fix. There was no pills, no patches, no shakes, no special foods. You didn't have to really count calories or measure portion control, which is everything that we've been taught, right? But I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. And yeah, I started working out only twice a week, doing the elliptical, and in 6 months I lost 50 pounds. I went from a jean size 16 to a size 8, and it was awesome. So, next slide. That was my after picture, feeling good. And then you can do the next slide. And this is my side-by-side of a year. So we can tell. Big difference, I think. Maybe feel proud. Slides. this is the diet. I don't like to call it diet. I don't like to even tell people I was on a diet because diets don't work. But this is a long-term lifestyle change to me. It's called the Dukan diet, and it's in 4 phases. The first one, well, let's go back. When you first go on, they have a website, and they ask you some questions about your past and how much you've weighed, the most you've ever weighed, and how many kids you've had, how many pregnancies and stuff, so they can really get like a good true weight is what they call it. Not the weight that you want, but the true weight that is good for your body and what you can maintain. So the first week, it's either 1 to 10 days. They tell you it when you do your little computer thing, and you're eating only nothing but lean protein, meats, lean dairy, all that kind of stuff. And then after the certain amount, then it's on to the next phase, is the cruise phase, where you alternate your lean proteins one day, and then the next day it'll be lean proteins and vegetables. And you do that for quite a long time until you reach your true weight, which they give you the estimated time that you'll be able to lose that weight. And then the consolidation phase, every day is a protein vegetable day, but then you also start incorporating pieces of fruit back into your diet, and then whole grain bread, some cheeses and all that kind of stuff. And I like that phase because they also incorporate celebration meals. So you've been working really hard, and then one day a week, like one meal, you get to choose whatever you want. So that was really fun. But that's also the stage that I messed up in, because I started getting overwhelmed about the attention I was getting for some reason. But I'll go back to that. So the 4th stage is after you've stabilized your weight for a long time, then you can, well, it doesn't say eat anything you want, but within boundaries. But one day a week, they still want you to have a pure protein day, so that kind of balances everything out. So this is a long term, because you're going to be on this diet or whatever for about a year, which sounds really weird. Have you ever heard of that before? The phase 3, it says stay on this phase for 5 days for every pound lost. So that would mean I would be on there for 250 days, which sounds really weird, right? But anyway, okay. So it wasn't easy. I prayed daily that God would help me with my temptations. I had to avoid that back table over there, which was really, really hard, coming to MOPS. It's hard being a mom because you give your kids snacks and you take one for yourself, fishy crackers, right? And, I was also eating by myself. I would cook for my family separately because they weren't eating the same way I was. So I had to make sure that I had my meals prepared and made sure that I had my snacks ready to go. So that helped me be successful. So yeah, going back to, I was maintaining my weight for a while, but then it got overwhelming. I felt like that was all my family and friends were talking about was my weight loss, which is good because you need encouragement, but I felt like every single thing that I was eating, it was under a microscope. Like, oh, is she eating that? She's really eating that, So I know it was probably all in my head because everybody means well, they want to encourage me and stuff, but for some reason I don't know, it was overwhelming for me, and soon like all my family and even my in-laws and everybody was starting on this diet, and that's all they would talk about, and I was like, I'm done dieting now. But I felt like they were still looking at me to continue, and it just was too much. So, and then shortly after that, I noticed that every night I was staying up later, like when everybody was going to bed, and I was watching TV shows or whatever, and I would just start eating and eating and eating. Like I wasn't even hungry, but I was still eating. And then after that, I was playing basketball, and I hurt myself really bad. I sprained my ankle really bad and my tailbone, and so I had to stop working out. So then everything just went downhill from there. My depression kicked in, and soon enough, I was up, 30 pounds heavier and stuff. So, and it's not fair that we gain weight faster than we lose it. Why is that? You guys wonder that? Well, in this book. says, your body retains a biological memory of weight extremes. It says, every time you put weight on and reach a new record high, the physiology adjusts, means that your body will then always try to reach that maximum weight again. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it says, you bear in mind the maximum and minimum weights you have reached in all your weight fluctuations over the years, because no matter how long your maximum weight lasted, it is your weight your body will forever record in its biological memory. So it goes back to, it's trying to reserve itself. So it's always trying to get back to that weight, which is interesting. Doesn't mean that you can't lose more than that, but it's a fight. So I stand here now with my mindset. It's positive at this moment. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but it's slowly getting back to where I'm gonna get back on track, and I know what I need to do, this time. And I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of praying, and checked out a bunch of books from the library about binge eating and tools to help you overcome that. And so I'm determined to get back to where my body is most comfortable. So notice I didn't say back to my certain weight. I don't know why us women are so obsessed with what the scale says, right? But we do, so next slide. So these are all women, all different body types, but look, they all weigh the same. And I'm sure one of them will say, oh, I'm fat, I weigh 154 pounds. Like the tall one over there probably would say that, right? But they all weigh the same. So, our body can fluctuate daily about how much we weigh. So I want you guys to try to get that out of your head if you struggle with that, with what the scale says. Right? The examples like, PMS, obviously we hold our water weight. Too much salt, that holds the water weight. If you have to go to the bathroom and haven't been for a couple days, that can be some weight there. Slide number 8. I love this picture. Going back to the scale, we get so frustrated with ourselves because we want to lose weight right away, right? Oh, I only lost 1 pound this week. Ooh. But are you still mad you only lost 1 pound when you look at that? Right? I'll take that. Next slide. So you probably heard that muscle weighs more than fat. It's not really true. They weigh the same, but fat takes up way much more. See that? Okay. So obviously, I'm really big into quotes. If you've seen my Facebook page, I always have quotes on there. So these are just some of the ones that really motivate me throughout this whole process. So I would print these out and just read over them every once in a while out loud. So it's never too late to become what you might have been. And I really believe that. Love this one too. Your mind will quit 1,000 times before your body will. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Yeah, our bodies can go forever. Yeah, this one's good too. Because we think of we always want to think of the future. Oh, it's so slow, but at least you're doing something. So stay positive. And this is the epitome of truth. Once you control your mind, you can conquer your body. It's all in our head. Our mind has so much power over everything. Do what you can where you are with what you have. You don't have to have a gym membership. I already had one. So that's why I was in the gym doing the elliptical. But you can walk. If you can walk, you don't have to be in the best shape, but you can still walk, or you can sit and you can do little bands sitting at home, but she'll talk about that later. Food is the most abused anxiety drug. Exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. It's not going to be easy. But at the end, you're going to feel more empowered that you're doing it on your own instead of whatever pills or whatever, because those don't last either, but you're going to just feel so empowered by that. Yep, and this is what discipline is. Don't give up what you want most for what you want right now. I had to like verbally tell myself, oh, I really want that piece of pizza, or I really want that cookie. But what I really want most is to be healthy, you know, and have energy. And so I would have to say that. And it would sound, you know, I would laugh at myself because that's, oh, she's talking to herself. But you really, like, you speak it out loud in your mind, and then your body goes along with it. So it takes 4 weeks for you to notice your body changing, 8 weeks for your friends, and 12 weeks for the rest of the world. Give it 12 weeks at least, and don't quit. It's true. Like, I noticed right away the first week, and I was like, why isn't anybody noticing? It was frustrating. But then after a while, people started noticing, you know, so change is happening. You might not notice it right away, but it definitely will catch up. And so what really matters at the end, right, is charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And that's true. Proverbs 31:30. Okay. So I've been reading this awesome book. It caught my eye because it says, Food, the Good Girl's Drug. How to Stop Using Food to Control Your Feelings. I'm not done with it yet, but it's amazing. And I picked that one because food is a drug. We always tease about it, but it really has the same effects as alcohol or any other kinds of drugs. People abuse it all the time. So I wanted to read. It says, the most important thing for me is to stay away from that all or nothing, black and white thinking. If I have a big slice of cake, that doesn't mean that I'm bad, and that I should just say screw it and eat everything else in sight. That's what we do. I've done that. Oh, I've already cheated today, so I'm just going to have something good for dinner too, right? No. So it says, whether I have a small indulgence or an outright binge, my main goal is to stop feeling sad and guilty about it. I feel as though I'm treating my body with the respect that it deserves, and I end up loving myself that much more for it. I love that my bookmark over here says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Because that includes your body also. And then page. This is talking about when you go into a binge. You get triggered and you go into a trance and engage in your avoidance strategy, which is eating. You don't even want to know what it is that you're avoiding. See, it's much deeper than just food. The next time you feel the urge to binge, ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Don't allow yourself to slip into that food trance before settling on at least one possibility. That even if you do end up emotionally or binging, at least you made the connection in your mind and began a new practice. Next time you may be able to dig a little deeper and find out more about yourself and eventually even avoid a binge. So, with me, my trigger is anxiety. Like sometimes I don't even know why I'm feeling anxious, I just feel it in my body, and that's when I usually start to eat. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, I feel so guilty and feel disgusted, like why did I do that, right? So I'm still in it right now. I have to dig deeper and, you know, look why am I feeling this way? Also boredom, there's so many different reasons. You have to figure it out for yourself, like what is causing me to eat? Because it's like a drug, it's filling something in there, So in this book also it says you can try to retrain your mind to stop or even interrupt a binge by pausing instead of just shoveling. Try to name out loud the emotion that you're feeling. Sometimes you might not know what it is. And then third, think of a possible way to soothe or comfort that feeling. And just realize there are no bad foods. We want to label them bad. We want to label chocolate cake bad. We want to label pizza bad. But it's not. Food is food. Food is fuel. And we have to learn to have a better relationship with that. If we abuse those, then yeah, it was a bad choice that we made. But food in itself is just food. It doesn't have to have that much control over you like it does some people. So, I want to let you know that there are no excuses. I have 5 kids at home. We have a really busy schedule. I had to cook differently from everybody else, and we have a food budget. I didn't go out and spend all this money on different prepackaged diet food. It can happen. So some of my tips are, again, stop obsessing over the scale. This can go either way. People that have anorexia too, don't obsess over the scale. If you feel unhealthy, if you feel uncomfortable in your own skin, then do something about it. Figure out what your triggers are and learn different coping mechanisms. Plan ahead, that's the huge, because that's when you don't have anything and you can easily go through the drive-thru. Always have something with you. This is the big one. Pay attention to what you're drinking. You're going to be surprised how many calories that you're consuming. My pitfall is soda. Soda's really bad, but I drink it and I'm trying to stop. I'm just confessing right now. Even diet soda, even though it doesn't have calories, it's really bad for your body. Stay away from sugars and salts, which everybody loves, either one, right? I like them both. Sugars turn into fat, and salts hold your fat, hold the water, so. Be patient with yourself. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. Love your body where you're at, or at least tolerate it. Our bodies, think of how much we do during the day. We take care of these kids. We have to take care of ourselves too, okay, guys? Just don't let the view of your body stop you from living. Go up on the stage and dance, right? Put on a swimsuit this summer, play with your kids. Okay? That's all I gotta say.
I'm going to pass it over to Riva. She's feeling a little under the weather today. I was going to take her spot, but she's scared.
No, but you still have so much value to add today, so you need to sit down. Okay, so good morning.
Good morning.
I am not feeling 100%, but I don't know if it's actual sickness or if it's nerves and stress, because I'm feeling so convicted about being here today and standing up and talking to you about health and nutrition when I am at my heaviest weight I've ever been without being pregnant. So, as an adult woman, I've been 107 pounds and I've been 170 pounds. And everywhere in between. And yo-yoing for the last 30 years of my life, basically. So I just want to say real quick, when I was a kid, I was always fit. If anybody's seen my daughter, she's like this, epitome of my husband, like a beanpole kid. She's almost 10, and she's just like long legs. And I actually used to be like that. It was hard to believe, but as soon as I hit puberty, I went from like 90 pounds to 134 pounds in 1 year, and went from being a beanpole to being like super voluptuous, curvy with D-cup bra. I mean, it was like the most extreme, awful transition. And so ever since then, I've had really a negative body image. I saw an article the other day that said, think about how many companies and corporations would go out of business if women would just accept themselves and be happy with where they are. And that struck me because I have tried every exercise program. I have tried every diet. I have tried every eating program. I've tried every fitness activity. I have tried, I could open up my own lending library with DVD sets of different at-home do-it-yourself. I'm a chronic gym membership person. I've had over a dozen different memberships at a dozen different gyms. I work at 3 different gyms now. And I just want to be real with you about the internal struggle that maybe some of you might face on a regular basis, but it's something that I've struggled with my entire life. Measuring, I love that picture that you had up there of like the 7 different women that were all 154 pounds. That is a beautiful picture, and I was actually thinking about that last night. And what that looks like on different people, and what that would look like, I don't know. I need to collect my thoughts here for a second. I have some scripture right here. I can't do anything without getting overly emotional, ever. So, as I was thinking about where I am and where I've been, and like you had said, I always feel my best when I'm comfortable in my skin. And it doesn't matter, you know, all those charts that you see about here, yeah, your BMI, and that's BS, by the way. I mean, it's a guideline, but because, like, I'm this, you know, come from a very thick, structured family. Like, when I go home to family reunions, people give me a hard time because they think I should have double helpings because I'm, like, the thinnest, you know, and then I go over to this group of people and I'm, like, the heaviest by 50 pounds, and so it just kind of depends on where you're at, and my biggest downfall is that I have a tendency to compare myself with other people and images and what am I supposed to look like, and I have this idea in my head because I'm a fitness instructor, because I'm a health advocate, because I've been a health coach, because I've been a life coach, those kinds of things. It's like, so am I supposed to have it all together? No, because I don't, because I struggle, and that's why we need each other, and we need to just love on each other. And the thing that kept coming to me over and over again is that a commitment to fitness and health is no different than our commitment to our walk with Christ. It is a daily commitment. It is a constant commitment. There's no magic pill, there's no magic diet, there's no magic workout. But with consistency and commitment and dedication, you will yield the results to live a full life. Let's just switch for a second, not talking about body image, but what our bodies really are. We were each gifted with this amazing body from Christ. God gave us our bodies ultimately as a tool for Him. We take care of our kids, we take care of our spouses, we take care of our families, we take care of our neighbors, and we need to take care of ourselves. Our body is a temple, and what we put into it is what we are able to offer as a ministry, as a gift to people in our lives. So I have a tendency to carry around this really negative cloud, and when I'm there, I find this, like I go into a hiding place, and I avoid big time because I don't want anybody to see me like that. And I've struggled with depression and anxiety for a great part of my life as well. So what kept coming to me is about nutrition and eating. So one thing I'm going to say about that is the best advice that I had ever heard about that is go back to your grandma's diet. Like, eat healthy, natural foods. Try and eliminate as much processed stuff, as much drive-through, as much anything in a paper cup that's disposable. Like, just go back to the basics. The food that God created on earth is the best thing to nourish our bodies, to nourish our souls, to nourish our minds. And He knows what He's doing. Okay? And so with that, I started thinking about the fruits of the Spirit. And as part of our nutrition, and we're always thinking outwardly about goodness, about being that example of goodness, love, patience, kindness, self-control, joy, gentleness, and peace. And as I was driving here this morning, I thought, do I extend these things to myself? Because I make a really good effort to extend those to people in my life, but I don't extend it to myself. So, starting today, I challenge myself, and I want to be held accountable to that, and challenge each of you to really read through that. And to think about the fruits of the Spirit in our life and what that looks like and how that's reflected in what we do, how we view ourselves, how we view our families, how we spend time and attention with people in our life. So, a couple things. No matter what your needs are, God wants you to bring them to Him. 1 Peter 5:7 says, "Give all your worries and cares to Him, for He cares about you." We have to put our full trust in Him to supply our needs. Philippians 4:18 says, "And this same God who takes care of me will supply all your needs from His glorious riches, which is given to us in Jesus Christ." So, when we look around us, when we look around ourselves, our community and marketing, and we idolize what we see on TV, in magazines, we start comparing ourselves, that does not bring glory to God. We're looking for something other than God to comfort us, drive us, and to supply us. We're coveting when we desire somebody else's body. We have to love what God gave us and know that we are His specific design and creation and tailor-made for His purposes. The enemy will try to get you to look elsewhere, anywhere else, but to God for comfort, so we doubt and reject ourselves. The quick fix or the magic pill doesn't align with God's will. God will always love you and walk with you in the valleys. Pray for knowledge and desire to respect what God has given you and treat your body as the temple that He has gifted you. It always starts with God, asking Him to speak to you and supply your needs. So, in just kind of reflecting upon where I'm at with my own self-image and where I've been and yo-yoing back and forth, and the thing is, when I was 107 pounds, I wasn't any happier or less critical of myself than I am when I'm 170 pounds. And that's frightening to me. So what that tells me, because I've been everywhere on the spectrum, is that I'm not allowing God to fill me. Because otherwise, I would be happy seeing myself at either of those places or anywhere in between. So, that is what I'm going to continue praying about. And I'm going to pray for all of you in that regard. I'm not putting my own struggle and burden on you, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only person in this room that has ever struggled with this. And so I'm super excited to have Sandra here because she is the living example of what that looks like, to be committed to that daily work. And the amazing thing about it is, because I've been there and I've done it, I mean, really, it's a minimal thing. It takes 15 to 20 to 30 minutes a day. If you really work hard, that's what it takes. And you can do it with your kids. And when I do it with my kids, they love it. And it's to the point now that if I don't do it, my kids are the ones who are holding me accountable. Mom, I can do 50 push-ups now. And I'm like, I can still only do 5 real ones, but that's okay. But it's been a fun adventure since introducing that with my kids, and I know that you do it with your kids on a regular basis too. And there are just small things, small changes that we can make in our lives every single day, like that commitment to Christ, the daily commitment to ourselves and to being in His Word, that can make a huge, huge change in our life. So with that, I would love for you to share your story and your amazing commitment and encouragement to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk for 1 second. I just want to add on to what they were saying. Health and fitness and all of that stuff, it shouldn't be a diet. It shouldn't be, I want to just do this one workout plan one time and then I'm done. It's got to be something that you want to do all the time. Our bodies are a temple given to us from God. So if you think of it like that, and every day you wake up and say, I need to take care of this body that God gifted me, it's a lot easier to go, you know what, I'm going to give it 30 minutes today no matter what. Whether my kids are doing it with me and I'm trying to do a push-up and they climb on my back, and you know, it doesn't really matter. You got to get it in there somehow, and we have to be an example for our kids because God also gifted our children to us. You know, so we need to raise them in the way of the Lord, but we also need to teach them that our bodies are a temple and we need to take care of ourselves. You know, my kids don't eat differently than we do. I cook 1 meal for breakfast, 1 meal for lunch, 1 meal for dinner, and that's it. My kids know the rule is you don't have to like it, but you have to eat it. So they eat it, and that's it. And if they don't eat it, they don't get their special snacks, they don't get their desserts, and they know that. It's really easy once you start to get them into it with you. Like, I wouldn't eat goldfish crackers, so I don't give my kids goldfish crackers, that type of thing. It's just the change, the first step, that's the hardest part. And like Christina was saying, food can be like a drug. Sugar, white sugar, is more addicting than cocaine, ladies. So, and it's in everything. Read your labels. It's in salad dressings and ketchups, and it's everywhere. So just make it a daily thing, and there's so much stuff that you can do at home with your kids while they're watching TV, while they're eating, because a lot of times they take 30 minutes longer to eat than we do, and just stuff like that. So we'll kind of show you some stuff. Stuff you don't need to.
We can go.
Okay.
Go ahead. So what we were going to do is just show you some basic things that you can do at home. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need equipment. You just need your body weight and some time and commitment to do it yourself. And it doesn't have to be done all in 1/2 hour. You can do it in and out throughout your day. I love what you posted the other day about, does anybody, I'm friends with her on Facebook and her little Fitbit page, right? So she posted the other day about how she had done this road trip and traffic was terrible and she had like 3 hours of sleep. And she said, I got up, I still had to get up and trudge the day and get through my morning. I got 3 cups of coffee and this and that and the other thing.
Still wasn't awake.
And still wasn't awake. And then she took time to do her workout, which is like 30 to 21 days. So it's a 30-minute workout, and she's like, that's what did it. That's what absolutely did it. And energize you, bring you out of that funk, And I can attest to that. If I get up and work out for 15 minutes before the kids get up and before I start my day is amazing. And I don't know why I still struggle not to do that sometimes, but it is. The quote I loved that Christine had up there was about how it's the best antidepressant. Exercise is the best antidepressant, because that is so true. But how that actually woke up your body and gets you going, gets the blood flowing, and so a lot of times in the afternoon all I want to do is sleep or take a nap with my kid. But if I get out and take a walk and go for a bike ride, it totally energizes you for the afternoon. Yeah. So anyway, okay. I like to do chair squats. So one of the things, just shoulder width apart. Your feet are shoulder width apart, and you go to sit down, but not quite. Like you just let your buddy, like you're just gonna sit down. And the thing is, you don't want to squat like this with your knees going forward. You want your booty to go straight back. And so you sit down, just barely touch it, and then come back up. And you can literally, like if you're sitting down working at the computer or whatever, you can stop and you can just do 10 of those. And then set, your timer for another 15 minutes, and then get up and do 10 more of those. Get up and just, whatever. So that's one of my little things. And then you can do dips also, tricep dips like this on the chair. And you can do, if you don't want to do like regular push-ups, you can do girl push-ups. You can do push-ups on the chair. I like chairs because they're like assisting and a lot of different exercise movements. But anyway, planks, push-ups, things like that. And we can write up some things and maybe distribute them later, but I didn't have enough on the ball to actually get that ready and prepared for you today. But I can do that. And so, I don't know. Those are just a couple little tidbits, but you, I know, are much more structured. And
I would say anything you're going to do, try to do like 3 sets of 10. It'll take you like 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes. The kids can be entertained for 3 minutes. They can even cry for 3 minutes. It's okay. They're not going to die. So a new one that I've been doing, it's kind of a flowing move. It's pretty cool. You do a squat, and then you go down and do a lunge, and then you do this one's called a curtsy lunge, and then a lunge, whoops, and then a squat, and you count that as 1, and then you switch legs. So it's 5 on each leg. Works your booty really good. Summer's coming up, right? And then I would say for your core has to be worked like every day. Your stomach muscles, they die easy. So we all know how to do a sit-up or a crunch. Just regular crunches like this. You can go full sit-ups. Really good as bicycle ones, where you're going like this. That'll do like the side of your stomach. You can YouTube anything like that. But just get moving. Go for a walk with the kids. Go for a run with the kids. Even though the kids can't run as far as you, they like it. So.
In my case, the kids can run a lot farther than me.
So that's it. Oh, and drink water. Water. Try really hard to drink half your body weight in water every day.
In ounces.
Yes.
Drink 70 gallons of water.
Thank you, ladies.